Mission Impossible 2 was released in 2000, it was directed by John Woo, and it sees Tom Cruise reprising his role as Ethan Hunt. This film also stars Dougray Scott, Thandie Newton, and we see the brilliant Ving Rhames reprising his role as Luther Stickle. In this high-octane action installment, we see a rogue IMF agent, Sean Ambrose, played by Dougray Scott, who has possession of a deadly virus called Chimera, which he threatens to unleash upon the world. And it's up to Ethan and his team to stop him. Ethan enlists the help of Ambrose's former girlfriend, Naya, played by Thandie Newton, to assist him to find out what Ambrose has and what he plans to do with it. But things get complicated when Ethan falls in love with Naya. As always guys, before we go any further, I want you to hit that subscribe button so you can follow this channel. I want you to hit the alarm bell as well so you can get notifications for me when my video is going to be uploaded. Give this video a like as well. And I'm going to be reviewing every Mission Impossible film up until the release of Mission Impossible 7, which comes out next year. Mission Impossible 2 is the most divisive of the films in the franchise. This is a film that some people like it, and you've got a lot of the hardcore fans who actually hate it and consider it to be the weakest installment in the franchise. I remember when I saw the trailer in 2000 when I was in college, and I thought, wow, we're getting a different style of film here. You've got John Woo's stamp all over it. You've got high-octane action, you've got explosions, you've got fights, something that was not seen in the first film. And Mission Impossible 2 is a radically different film compared to the first film. Whereas the first Mission Impossible film kept to the tone of the TV series and was more of a homage to the espionage thriller. Mission Impossible 2 felt like a homage to Bond films as well as to other John Woo films as well. Watching this film, you can see there were so many nods to Bond. The car chase between Ethan and Naya. That was a nod to Goldfinger and Goldeneye. When Ethan meets his handler, played by Anthony Hopkins in an uncredited role, that's almost like Bond meeting up with M. Mission Impossible 2, when I watched it again to review it, it is a beautifully shot film. The problem with it is, it drags on. Whereas the first film, there was a sense of urgency. It just gets going. Mission Impossible 2 takes an awfully long time to get going. And there were a lot of elements in the movie that I just found unconvincing. The love triangle between Ethan and Naya didn't work for me. Their chemistry, non-existent. But more importantly than that, Mission Impossible 2 takes itself way too seriously. And the tension and the suspense that was in the first film is lost in this film. Performance-wise, I think Tom Cruise was great as Ethan Hunt, and we get a different style of Ethan Hunt in this film. Whereas in the first film, he was more focused on the mission, this film we get a more relaxed Ethan, who's more trying to be like a James Bond character. Dougray Scott as Ambrose, I thought he was okay. Mission Impossible has had better villains. And I definitely would say that Philip Seymour Hoffman was my favourite thus far. Because Mission Impossible 2 overran its production, Dougray Scott was actually considered for the role of Wolverine. But that role eventually went to Hugh Jackman. And there were just a lot of unnecessary elements in the film. As good as Anthony Hopkins was, he didn't really need to be in the film. John Woo's style of action and his signature shots didn't fit with the style of Mission Impossible 2 at all. So you got the doves, you got the slow-mo shots, you got the zoom-in shots. There were just so many that just felt so unnecessary. But there are some great action sequences, but I would say that he has done better. Not just in Face Off, but in some of his earlier work as well. Namely Broken Arrow, Hard Target. There was another film that he did, a TV movie with Dolph Lundgren called Blackjack. Some of the action sequences in that movie were far better than the ones that were done in Mission Impossible 2. There were sequences in this film that felt like a rehash of some of Woo's earlier work, but also were copied from other films as well, namely The Matrix. When Ethan gets into a shootout in the final sequence of the film, he puts on a pair of sunglasses, which is a nod to The Matrix. There's one scene where Ethan breaks into a facility and he sees a guard and he runs and he does a spinning kick and he kicks him, and it's done in slow motion, and that was almost similar to the hallway shootout in The Matrix also. The motorcycle chase in this film was okay, but that has been improved on in further installments of the Mission Impossible franchise, namely Rogue Nation and Mission Impossible Fallout. And one particular sequence was so over the top, we'll see Ambrose and Ethan drive up to one another and they jump in the air and they crash into one another. And then they fall off a cliff. Now, the motorcycle just decides to explode, which was totally over the top, but see another motorcycle fall behind them and they get into a fight on the beach. And that is pretty much what exactly happened in the final sequence of Face Off, where we see Castor and Sean on a speedboat, the speedboat crashes and they're sent hurtling into the air, they land on the ground and the boat actually explodes. There is another scene in this film that is a nod to John Woo's biggest hit, Face Off. In the final act of the film, we see Ethan trick Ambrose. And what he does is, Ethan disguises himself as Ambrose's right-hand man Stamp, and Ethan disguises Stamp as Ethan. So they basically swap faces, which was what was done in Face Off. Ambrose shoots who he thinks is Ethan, and after taking the mask off, he realizes that it's not actually Ethan, it's actually his right-hand man Stamp. And we see Ethan run with the Chimera virus and then escape. And one of the best scenes in the film, my personal favorite, is where we see Ethan run and he pull off the mask. And then you get the Mission Impossible music done by Hans Zimmer. And I think that was one of the best mask rips that has ever been done in Mission Impossible. Because prior to that, and in further installments of the Mission Impossible franchise, usually when somebody pulls off their mask, they're usually still. To see him running and to see John Woo's doves flying all over the place, I thought that was one of the best scenes in the film. But Mission Impossible 2, it's not a bad watch. I mean, I watched it and I didn't feel like I had to fast forward anything, but it's certainly not the best. And as the series has progressed, the producers and directors have learnt from their mistakes and they have improved on the elements that didn't work in this film, and they've made it work in further installments of the film. Namely, better plots, better villains, better structured action sequences that are more realistic and better. And we've seen that done with Ghost Protocol, with Rogue Nation, and with Mission Impossible Fallout, and I can't wait to see what they do with Part 7. And they reclaimed a lot of elements that were missing from the first film, namely the suspense, the urgency, and the intensity. But Mission Impossible 2 does have some good moments in it, so I'll give this film a very strong 6 out of 10. So guys, that's my review. As always, thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button so you can follow this channel. Hit the alarm bell as well so you can get notifications when my video is going to be uploaded. Give this video a like as well. Leave your comment with favourite scene from Mission Impossible 2. Do you like it, and how does it still fare after 21 years? Comment down below and I shall see you all in the next film review. Take care.